because my phone just ran out of battery again, right? Which you think, well, come on, Tom, why wouldn't you have sorted that out by now? I did. I literally had a power bank plugged in the whole time, a good one as well, one specifically for that phone, like tailor-made, and it's never done that before. So I don't know. When I checked all the power settings, I have no idea, unless there wasn't a clean connection, but it showed it was charging. So I just wanted to apologise, because that's the second time that's happened recently on a live stream, and I hadn't really even cracked the egg as to where I was going. You know, we were starting to get a decent audience size on there, so that's where you go into deeper subjects, when you know they've got the audience size there. So I just wanted to say I apologise for that, and I should have done this live. I should have done this as a video. I just realised. I apologise about that, and YouTube's been maddening today. Half my battery time was wasted on trying to get YouTube to work today. I understand what they're doing. They're doing work in the background to make it better, but it's just affected the way I try to do things today. So 2 phones and multiple, yeah, if I was to show you how many chargers I got with me today, you'd understand I came prepared. I came prepared. So it's just embarrassing when that happens, because it's like, oh, well, Tom's still making the same mistakes as 2 months ago. No, I had all the power in my bag to power up a phone for a day. So I just want you to understand, it's, yeah, I can't actually explain why that happened. I can tell you that normally I start my phones with about 90%, and we were on something like 20% by the time I finished fucking with YouTube. So, yeah, very annoying. Very nice, very evil. No, very annoying, and but that's just the way it is. So just wanted to say quick apologies for ending a live stream like that. Don't like doing that, because left points unanswered, left things unsaid, and god damn it, I left myself open to be finished in terms of not closing some of my points I was bringing up, which just leaves yourself open to be ridiculed because you're not finishing your points. Sound like a madman with dementia. So hopefully I got round to covering most of the things I was bringing up. But yeah, I wonder if other creators are having the same problem with Mr. PM at the moment. That's what I'd be really curious to know. Are other creators having a problem at this moment in time with the way that they're criticising the PM? Bear in mind, I'm not the most politically correct. I'm not the most guideline heavy guy. And I have kind of got lazy and forgotten myself and remembered, oh yeah, saying things like dictator. You can't get away because the thing of it is, when you become a YouTube partner, they do protect you to a certain degree, because you're the cash cow. So they do actually, there is a customer service and things like that where you can actually fight back. So therefore, there's a kind of reasonable status there where you've got to meet them halfway. So I've got to be a little bit more clever, like remembering to remind you guys that I'm a character and that things are alleged, or for comedy purposes, or for you get where I'm going. That's where I dropped the ball. So it's the game YouTube want us to play. By the way, I'm now reconnected to Rumble on the Restream, and Getter, and hell, I may do more, I don't know. But what I will tell you is there will be, I'm going to say this carefully as well, but YouTube can pay me to do clean videos that stick to the guidelines on this platform, and I'll do exactly what they say. Great. Yes, sir, I'll do it, sir. To a point. And then I'll go to Rumble and release the uncensored version, which is no skin off YouTube's nose. But the point of it being is, well, unless it's people exiting, but they're not going to exit this for me. But the point being is, I'll always make the video I want to make, and even if YouTube reject it, it's fine. There'll be a censored and uncensored version. I don't care, because I'll make the video anyway. And if people want to see what YouTube literally, so the thing is, I don't want you to think I'm frightened of YouTube and scared to put the video up. It's like when I first made Welcome to Southampton, the hotel business then was a lot hotter than it is now, because now it's an open secret. When I released that back then, It damaged my channel severely, and it kept being taken down, the actual video. So I know that if I'm just pig-headed and say F you and do it anyway, I know what comes from going down the road, because I've already been there, and it's, you don't win. You don't win. At the same time, I can't be, there's no point in me being on here if I'm not going to be authentic and truthful. So I've once again found the hack for YouTube that is that road. To stick to their guidelines without ever really compromising yourself. And I've found it, but because it's advanced from when I used to do this, it's become more of an algorithmic challenge. And 2, because I've just got lazy, not having to worry about these things. I've got to get back into the groove of it. But once I do, for you guys, it'll be seamless. You won't even fucking notice, because you know, the joke won't be on me, and the joke won't be on you. Trust me on that. The joke will be on them. And like I say, algorithmically, again, not saying too much, but contextual pressure is what allows us to say what we want. Contextual pressure. AI has got too many false positives. Contextual pressure. And if you've really got an important message you want to send out to the world, try doing a whole video about cooking and then sticking an encoded message in the end. You find it gets out a lot further. But no, okay, I'm taking it to the extremes. But yeah, you know, there is ways to work within their system and still tell the exact truth. You've just got to use a bit more legal jargon around it. That's it. And use a lot more, the same way as I broke the AI. Roleplay, hypotheticals, allegeds, you know, everything that says this might not be real. Yeah? Same as why my videos underneath them have got, this is my opinion. A, because it's true. B, because it's a liability protection of my own. YouTube care about 2 things: engagement, liability. So I have my own liability protection, which is not protection against YouTube, because you can't protect yourself against YouTube. It's to make out I'm going along with their guidelines, because I'm also saying, hey, look, this is just an opinion. You know, no blame on anybody, and you don't have to listen to me. So all of that is just, you know, plausible deniability to people saying stupid shit like, you're inciting violence, when I've never done anything like that in my life. So it prevents a lot of that. How much battery I got on this? Not enough. Hang on. I didn't expect you guys to come back on. So bear with me. Otherwise it's going to happen twice. And I won't be very happy. Truth is brutal. Truth can be brutal. And, oh shit, hang on. And here's the thing. People like me are always riding a tightrope when it comes to the truth. Because people feel, what's the word? They feel betrayed when you tell it. Amazingly. Feel betrayed when you tell the truth. You're a wanker if you don't. You're a snitch if you do. It's unbelievable. The eggshells I have to walk along to just tell the truth. And yet, I have an unhealthy obsession with the truth. Unhealthy because I take it too far. I know this. This is not a talent, it's an obsession that goes too far. And I know that I go too far, and I'll hold my hand up to it, which is why I try and pull myself back sometimes. Nevertheless, it does get me in trouble. Every day I'm walking a tightrope of which group of the madness of crowds, which group am I going to upset next by saying something about either a deliberate hero or an accidental hero I didn't even know about, that the sycophants come out and hate me for, and I get punished for. You know, I literally don't know who's hero. You know, and it's like, I don't want to name the person because I like them and I don't want them to get any negativity. But they'll know who they are, and it applies to everybody else anyway. And I do want to make something clear. A, if you make a claim, especially an outlandish claim, like the moon is made of cheese, then you don't get to come on a channel and then say, prove me wrong. That's not how it works. And in the adult theatre of discussion, what would happen is you would try and prove your own theory wrong first, and then if you're going to come and make a claim like that, you would have to back it up. It's not on the person you said it to back it up. Otherwise, we'd be endlessly making answers to ridiculous claims that are done all the time. So in the adult world, you make a claim, you have to back it up. Thirdly, and this is what they might understand why I got so wound up, and I do apologise for getting so wound up with a couple of people, yeah? The reason I got wound up wasn't the argument. It was because, once again, you came to my channel with your own fucking political agenda. The video wasn't about fucking Charlie Kirk. The video was about post-truth and not knowing, even if everything people say about Charlie Kirk is true or false, it was a point of fact. And I mentioned other things like the Donald Trump shooting recently and the previous one as examples of where people have both shouted truth and false at the same time. That's what the video was about. So then when someone wants to argue the toss over Charlie Kirk and how the way he died, you've just missed the whole point of the video, and you spent 30 fucking comments on that window, pulling people in the wrong direction and getting involved in the wrong conversation. What I mean by that is free speech is free speech. But when you keep coming on and you keep pushing it in a direction like that to make your own political statements, I think it's time you start your own channel. If you feel you have so many political statements to make them. Don't keep doing them off my back, because it becomes clout chasing at some point. Now, I haven't got much clout to give, but that's what it is regardless. If you want to keep making those political points, make them on your own fucking channel. And the other thing as well is I've bent my own rules, and I've seen my own mods bend the rules to keep certain people about. And it's like, I don't mind doing that because I like those people, I consider them friends. But there's a line. And when it comes down to me going into my creative studio, see, what you guys won't see is, whilst having a seemingly normal debate with me on one video, they're going on to another video and judging my usage of my own fucking time. That's crossing the line. Especially from someone who's done fuck all. So, as I said, I like these people. I want them to stay friends because they are good. I believe they're good people. They're just young, immature at times, but genuinely good people who I think have got a really bright future and who may achieve great things. But if you think because I'm kind in the way that I treat you, if you think that I can't be pushed too far, think again. I couldn't give two fucks for your free speech. Because I don't have free speech. This is YouTube. None of us have free speech. If you're going to come on multiple videos and make 30 comments and things like that, that's spamming. I've got every reason. My mods have held back when you've made fucking anti-Semitic slurs or other types of slurs, including ones about the motherland. We've let it go because we believe there's more to you than that. If there's not, just say it. I'll fucking cut you. You have no understanding of me. I try and be kind, and I try and get on with people. But if you fuck with me, I'll cut you off like an arm with gangrene, and we'll never speak again. There won't be an argument, there won't be like people recently that tried to fuck with mine of this channel. You heard of them recently? No. Be cut like a bad fucking habit. So it's like, you know, and the thing of it is, let me calm this down, the thing of it is, I don't mind so much, but it's one person who just, like I say, the other day I saw 2 or 3 mods dancing around this person trying to help him not get himself banned. Like, that's their time being taken off the ball because they're trying to help him. When I see other people in the chat not want to comment because they feel oh, if this is what this channel's about, you know? So it's like, free speech for what we've got is supposed to be equal for everybody. And I've had people recently, and in the past, say, if people argue in the chat, don't talk. It takes me a lot of confidence to come in the chat and talk anyway. If they feel there's bullies in the chat, they won't speak. If they feel there's massively strong egos in the channel, they won't speak. There's a lot of people that won't speak unless the circumstances are kind of right. And so I've always had a rule, which is, look, everybody can come and say what free speech YouTube allows me to give you, but never make the mistake of thinking that yours is worth more than everybody else's, because I have to try my best to distribute it evenly amongst the people who say I have honest guests, as a good example. Or if I had 4 of you on from, just say you haven't got a channel, but you come on and I invite you on as guests to my show. It's my duty to make sure that all 4 of you get equal treatment, right? Or it's the same way you treat the comment section, the same way you treat everywhere. It's not easy, and obviously some conversations are more intricate, and unlike the left, we don't have a DEI quota, so obviously some people get more say than others because they've got more in-depth things to say, and we don't cut that. That's not the idea. It's not forcing a quality of outcome, it's giving everybody an equal chance to come in and say what they want. That's it. Who says what is another thing. So I want those people to know I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed now. I'm not angry. I've let that off my chest today, but that's just passion. I'm not angry, and that you may even have been right about some of the points you were making, and that's what made me so pissed off. I wasn't looking to argue those points. I was looking to tell you that anybody that believes 100% of any narrative has gone wrong, and that we are in an era where evidence means nothing. Scientists, look, I'm just going to level with you, right? Because people are being real ignorant cunts. When scientists get called Nazis for calling a baby a girl or a boy, for doing his job as a scientist, and being called a Nazi to this day, we have a problem. And that's exactly what's still going on. Oh, you assigned me this identity at birth. What are you talking about? Nobody assigned you anything. I realise what the birth certificate is, guys. I'm not stupid. But my point being is about this. We've taken so much from the left and we don't even know it. And it bothers me now. We're adopting the identity politics. We're adopting the no criticism rules. Not all of us. We're adopting the I'm too high and mighty to answer your questions. What was the most recent one I've just been talking about? We've been adopting a lot of their hate. People now believing in hate speech. What the fuck? That was a left invention. And now you're saying it's real. What's wrong with you? You've let the left win in your mind. You've let them conquer your mind. You now believe hate speech is real. Congratulations, you've just let the left win. So they won. So every demo they went to when you thought you were fighting, they were winning you over. Crazy. The left used to be the ones that would come to an argument armed with no facts, just feelings. And we would fucking own them. We would fucking own them. And now we are all about the feelings. Even me, I'm not going to try and make myself out to be fucking special. We're all about the feelings now, aren't we? And where's it getting us? We're using the weapons of the left because we've had enough. But it's not working out too great because we're making absolute CUNTs of ourselves. And people that were once respected, Ben Shapiro, people like that, are now either lauded by lunatics or hated by haters. There's no middle ground. These people have all knowingly or unknowingly contributed to the rift that is already there. And while you're not going to make me hear me making arguments for some big centre ground I don't believe exists, at the same time, alienating people is not a good strategy. It's just not. But that's where we are. That's where we are. Anyway, let me catch up with you guys. What word do you love? So can you hear that wind? Are we good? Yeah, what happened was, even though I had a power bank plugged into my phone, it ran out of battery anyway. So yeah. Hang on a second, guys. Either you started commenting late, or I can only see a few of your comments. Hang on. Oh, I'm on fucking Prism, aren't I? I'm not going to see them all. One sec, guys. Before I was on YouTube, so it showed me all of them. But being on Prism, you get what you get. Hang on. Oh, that's a microphone. Oh, this does my head in. Right. I hate needing glasses. I really do hate needing glasses. This is a good spot here. The only thing is camping shit when it's windy like this. Unless you've got a fucking... Oh, there's a tent I want, like an air tent. But it's like got blacked out bedrooms and stuff. I think that's cool kind of 2026 shit. So, oh, come on! Either I'm going to fucking find these glasses in the next 5 seconds, or I'm just going to give up. Yeah, because I'm not a cunt. Fuck me. Unbelievable. They are literally around my neck for convenience, ease and speed. Fuck's sake. Yeah, so, right, so you said Gobster said YouTube removing AI. So to be totally clear, this is from inside YouTube, not outside. So what I'm saying applies. They may make slight changes and adjustments to what I'm saying, but, oh fuck, what I'm saying comes from the source. And when I say comes from the source, I mean from the source where the weight's pushed. So all of the executive reasons and corporate noise I've got out of the way. YouTube are paying lots of money for server space that is being filled by AI videos that take 5 minutes to make. People hate them. They don't engage with them. They don't make money. But they do take up a lot of server space. Some people are making 8-hour-long videos. And they cost a lot of money. You imagine the amount of videos that YouTube have on their servers. And live streams. Now, I have tried to buy video servers before. They're fucking expensive. Really expensive. To be able to stream video out there. YouTube, I don't even know what they would be paying for the amount of videos they store and stream. But it's going to be the biggest cost that they have. It's going to be enormous. So what's happening is they've done two mistakes. YouTube realised that they've got creators in the creator studio to copy other creators to recreate their success. And now they've realised they've created an echo chamber of the same slop. So they're now coming down on certain things. Repetitive content. Content that basically is frame for frame another person's video in different words. Or content that just says exactly the same words every week written off a script. They're going to be looking for license registration plates in content that is just read out by people that is purely 100% AI every time. But particularly the content they're coming down on is as follows. Transcripts are now stupidly provided by YouTube underneath every single video. This means that I can get a transcript of any video I like, made by any creator I like, and put that transcript straight through a AI, as people have done with Star Wars books, and said, give me a non-copyrighted version of this I can't get caught for. It will do exactly that, and that's why there are Star Wars channels out there making money off of Star Wars books that have been reworded, and my videos that have been put through AI and been reworded. Descriptions, same thing, been put through AI, have been reworded. But there's something called the rule of three. There's something, I don't want to say too much about this because I don't want to tip these fuckers off. There's something called the rule of three. There's a rhythm and there's a frequency, which I don't want to say the frequency even. But I can tell you about the rule of three, which sounds like a Star Wars term and it's not. And I can tell you that the patterns I've been picking up on are no longer me having to search on whether they're in my imagination. I now know exactly what's generating them, why it's generating them, and exactly how people are going to get caught. I also know that they're using these very weaknesses that I'm picking up on to make a license plate. And that license plate is being worked on not only to now tell you when there's AI in a video, but also to tell you Who made it? Who made it? So what's going to happen is these videos where the creators haven't got the guts to put their own face or voice to a video, YouTube are saying, well, hang on a minute. If you ain't got the voice and you ain't got the face, and you're also putting in stuff that has been put straight through an AI, so we can see that as well, then what are you creating? You're not a creator. You're out. Bye. Gone. If you are making AI for subterfuge, like there's a lot of channels that have got people fighting that never fought. Stupid shit. If you're trying to mislead people, you're gone. People are saying, well, why isn't it already gone then? Here's why. AI videos take 5 minutes to make. Even if YouTube get rid of 90% of them, they're being made faster than they can be deleted at the moment. They're working on that. I'm not a YouTube fan, by the way, but this is the facts. It's costing YouTube money, and they need to fix it. They're panicking. That's why they're doing it. They're not doing it for the wellness of mankind. They're doing it because their bottom line is dropping. Their advertisers are becoming unfriendly. And so YouTube need to fix this shit quick. They've created a quagmire, and now they need to fucking drain it, right? So it's nothing to do with the benefit of us. It's all to do with the benefit of them and their bottom line. So they're getting to, rather than the glitz and the glamour and the lovely intros and everything else, getting your phone out and doing what I'm doing is getting more of a push at the moment, because it's original, it's got no script. Until they've properly got the tracking methods for when someone's reading off AI, when someone's descriptions are all AI, when everything they do is AI, then what are they contributing to the whole? And that could be hard to tell in some cases. In other cases, it would be impossible. So, and those denying it will be instantly chopped. So they're going after, and they're also going after YouTube music that is AI, that is pretending not to be, and trying to make money from things like Spotify and YouTube Studio and stuff like that. That's where they're drawing the line. So AI music, if used in an intro, as a backing track, as a copyright-free alternative to the music that they say is copyright-free and you end up getting done for, no, you're actually safe with AI music as long as it's a theatre piece, a movie, something to enhance what you're doing. Basically, fuck off! Basically, AI for enhancement is fine. AI for replacement of talent is not. AI for replacement of content is not. AI for replacement of voice is not. AI for replacement of face is not okay. If you don't want to be a creator, then you don't have to be. But don't expect to make the money of a creator. Don't expect to have watches like a creator. That's what they're saying. It's that simple. You don't want to have, if you don't want to showcase the talent that you've got, maybe you ain't got any. Just fuck off. Come back when you can make a video without the AI. And the fact is, why would you want to mislead people? Why would you want to mislead people with your AI? Because you're a troll. Fuck off. You're not going to make us money in the long term. People hate AI. Therefore, they're not making money from the advertisers, because people won't watch the adverts because they hate the AI so much. So yeah, they're coming down very hard on AI, but it doesn't mean that someone like for me, I've got an AI intro. They don't care. In the video I made the other day, you've got me being blown up as I walk around the corner, stuff like that. They don't care. It's satirical. It's stupid. It's not trying to trick you into anything. It's trying to get you to laugh at how bad my AI skills are. Yeah, or when I do a deep fake, they don't look super real. That's part of the fun of the joke, that everybody's in on the joke. You all get the joke. It doesn't look too real. There's nobody attempted to be fooled. So that's all considered to be okay, as long as you're not... So, on board the other thing, sorry, one last thing. Cartoons, deep fake voice, deep faked voice and cartoon animations using AI are also okay, done in a satirical way, because you're making a satirical cartoon. Or making a science fiction movie out of AI that's got a real decent presence will be considered a proper use of CGI and whatever. So there will be nuances. But if you're replacing it with talent or ideas, you're fucked. Your day's numbered. If you think that you can just put an AI voice on YouTube because you haven't got the guts to use your own, because you won't back yourself, those days are coming to an end as well. Back yourself. And the worst of it is, they use these shit generated AI voices. I bet half of them, and this is what annoys me, I bet half of them, if they just had confidence in themselves, would probably have quite good and easy voices to listen to. And that is what frustrates me about them. They look for the easy way of doing it. If you're too embarrassed to get in front of a microphone, I understand. It's not a normal thing to do. But at the same time, then don't act entitled about getting money from YouTube. Or even having a slot on YouTube, Facebook, X, or anywhere else. These places are for whores like me, who are prepared to go and slot ourselves out there and take the beating that we're going to take from the crowd, occasionally the pat on the back. But these people are, yeah, living in the fucking parallel universe. Anyway, where's my cockroach spray? Like that. Yeah, truth. Thing is, like, when I walk the line of truth, I make it sound like such a solo quest, right? But I always know, like, with every video, there's a good chance I'm going to piss somebody off I like today. You know? But that is, at one time I would have said, well then, Tom, if you're pissing off more people than you're making friends with, then you're probably the problem. Because that probably would have been true back then. But what I've realised at the moment is no. Everybody's picked a side, and I'm just on the side of us. And so I've realised that no, they're trying to pull me into something I don't want to be a part of, and that's cult-like behaviour. I've always been somebody that walks on the edges of this movement for that very reason, and this is just more justification as to why I do the things that I do. It tells me that staying on the outside has kept me out of that cult-like mentality, because we need to face realism. Like, if you can overcome any challenge in life, any adversity, and we've got a lot coming our way, then the first thing is to have is a realistic grasp of the terrain ahead of you. And you know, when I read, like, just to give you an example, restore, but there's many different subjects. When I hear people say we've got it in the bag and mean it, it's lunacy. It's lunacy. It doesn't take what's coming seriously. It doesn't take the uphill task seriously. And if people have got that attitude, that's just as bad as the attitude of I'm not going to vote. Both achieve the same level of voting. None. So, you know, yeah. There's a saying that many of you will probably know. There's many a slip twixt a cup and a lip. And never is that more true than in politics. And so 3 years, if we get that far, is a long time. And I can already see the rumblings and things. I don't think things are going to look, come the election, the way they look now. As in the party names, everything. I think there's going to be at least one more reconfiguration before we get to the end of this. At least one more reconfiguration. I'm not going to say who, because it just causes trouble. I'm just going to say I think there's going to be at least one, if not two more reconfigurations of parties before we get to a general election, unless we get one soon. I don't think the manoeuvring's over. I don't think the ambition is over, but I also don't think I think the narrative, everything behind the scenes is still being shaped. And like I say, 3 years is a long time in politics. And I wouldn't be surprised if old enemies become, what's the word? Friends again. For the sake of the country, which is the line that will be used. But am I the only one that just thinks that if that happens, it would just be for the sake of the WEF? I mean, our country. I really feel conflicted making these fucking videos with you, because I realise that legally, I've got to put my hope into a political party. Like, I don't know how the average age range of people in my videos has changed than it used to be. I don't know how old you guys are, but how many times have you heard that shit before? You know, and I know things are different now. I do. And I appreciate the scale of just how bad. I'm fucking sick of being lied to. And it's like people with AI. I'm the same with politics as people are with AI. Fool me once, shame on you, yeah? And I'm the same with politics, except fool me 900 times, shame on you. And I'm just, I don't know. And I just also see the way people are reacting. And I've never seen them, I haven't seen people this nasty over politics since Brexit. And we haven't even started. I understand there's a lot at stake, but I don't think this is going to be as easy as people think. Honestly, at the moment, if you ask me right now, you wouldn't even need a gun to my head. If you ask me now who is going to win the next election, I would pick Green Party first. Maybe Reform second. And probably Labour or Conservatives third. Because of people's voting patterns and because of precedent being broken. If we go with what would be normal for this country, if politics were normal and functioning normally, you'd expect it to be one of the two major parties, or the Liberal Democrats doing a surprise thing, but these are not the old days. So the Green Party would normally have zero chance, no matter how strong they appear to be. But people are looking at them not as socialists, or they're like, socialism, that's that really good idea, isn't it? I don't know. It's not subversion. These people are beginning to believe this. A younger generation of 25 to 29 year olds are beginning to believe, because they've been told this for ages, that socialism ain't so bad. And it's catching on, which is why I said to you that I truly believe that these, whatever elections that we have, any general elections, if Starmer ever lets us have them, sorry YouTube, allegedly, I'm playing a character. Sorry, I was just praying to the YouTube gods. I don't know. I think people are full of shit, and I don't know if they're willfully full of shit, as in, I don't know if they know what they're doing, because maybe they don't, and if they don't, then I can't really hold them accountable for anything. Or if they are truly of the mind that, yeah, we've got this in the bag, nothing to worry about from the Green Party, nothing to worry about from anybody, we've got Rupert now, we're fine. Because nothing could be further from the truth. Rupert's the weapon, but he has to be deployed, and deployed effectively, and he has to make a bigger bang and be more accurate than the Green Party. And what I see at the moment is massive voter apathy on the right. People are like me. They don't even believe the system works, because it doesn't. And therefore, if they don't believe the system works, what reason they got to go out and vote? We've got to reinvigorate those people feeling the same way I do, into saying, yeah, but this vote's different. They've heard it all before. Oh, we just want to lend your votes. You know, all this stuff. They've heard all of the lines before. So somehow these people have got to be motivated into saying, no. This is different. They need to be convinced of that. Saying it's different isn't going to be enough. They've heard it. Boris Johnson and people like that saw to it that the people had the last of their trust squeezed out of them. That's who to blame. It's not anybody that's around now. It's who came before. They literally squeezed the last of the trust out of the people. People haven't got any left. So to get them voting again is going to be difficult on the right. Whereas on the left, they could smell victory. They can smell victory in terms of wiping out the right as a force for quite some time, until it doesn't matter anymore. They've had a plan for years. They've executed it. Like it or not, people like to think we're all, because we tend generally to be rougher stock and we can handle more shit than these fucking snowflakes on the left, we tend to underestimate them time and time again, and we don't realise that these people have had the media, they've had everything, they've changed our culture, they've even got half of you talking about things like fucking hate speech, and what was the other thing we were talking about earlier on? Defending the free speech rules, or lack of free speech rules, and other things. I forget what it was now. There was another subject we were talking about earlier on. People are taking on ideas from the left, and they're making them their own. The post-truth, the arguments without facts. These are things we've imported directly from the left. You must remember, guys, only a few years ago, Facts don't care about your feelings. What's Ben Shapiro saying now? What happened to that? We've lost a lot of it on the right. Look at how precious people get the further you go up the chain. Look at how upset certain people, even the very top people that always laugh and troll people that are giving them shit. Look at how passionate and upset they're getting at the moment, are getting criticism. They're so fucking used to getting over that criticism. And because they're rubbing shoulders with more important people now, the bunts. And that makes them feel more emboldened to say what the fuck they want to you. You have to understand there's a process behind it, right? Nobody begs you 1 minute and then speaks to you like shit the next, unless they suddenly feel they got a new confidence from somewhere else. You know, and this applies to a lot of people, especially in America, but here too. And that's why I said to you, like, I've got people watching out for me. Hopefully people in the audience today as well, that will literally phone me up and go, what did you say today? You know, if I ever catch myself going, oh, I'm really good, I'm really great at podcasts or whatever. What? You know, so if ever I get, not that I'm saying you would ever do this, but if I ever had that sycophant crowd, I've got people there to go, shut the fuck up. You know, it's important. You need real friends that will not just butter you up with the nice words. My employment with the Voice of Wales, no. Me and the Voice of Wales, we're going to link up employment for the Voice of Wales. Why do you people like to put words in people's mouths? For what it's worth, my employment has been kept well away from cunts like you on the internet. Not one of the places I've worked at has ever been spoken about. Never have I done a podcast near any of them. Never would I. For the simple fact that you'd get me fired in a fucking day. I already know the score because I had it happen to me. It's what stopped me doing it. You make fucking phone calls to fucking places that I've worked at. You fuck with my real life via my premises of work. So wherever I work, whatever I do, you don't get invited because you can't be trusted. Some of you, and I do that with many things because of the fact that people can't be trusted. In terms of the Voice of Wales, we made a deal to work together, and then I went on to get her. And see, when you say things like that, by the way, you only confirm the fact that I know you, and that you're too pussy and you've changed your name, which annoys me. Because why not just be who you are? But the Voice of Wales, they asked me to join them, and Stan, no problem. Unfortunately, where they'd been persecuted, wherever they'd been, and they had been badly persecuted, they kept having the platforms taken away from them. So they thought that they were friends with the guy that ran Getter. And I tried to explain in the nicest possible way, he's not your friend, it's a mutual using each other thing. And as long as you both understand that, there's no harm in it. Everybody's gaining. But as long as you understand that, and because I was trying to look out for someone who I actually really did consider a friend, those two had come down. So I care about them a lot. Yeah, I still do to this day, by the way. They're good guys. And, but, because, you know, people get precious, they insisted that, or not they, Dan insisted that, no, this guy's our friend. All right, okay. I'm not going to tell you to believe what I think. And you remember that Tommy left the platform and everything else. Tommy didn't so much leave the platform as what happened was many of us were against Ukraine. And the Ukraine, when the war broke out with Ukraine, many of us turned on Ukraine and were like, well, hang on a minute, why are we supporting Ukraine so much? The owners of Getter did not like that at all. And they turned on us. All our views got slashed from like 1,500 to 200 or 150 overnight after making those claims. Tommy got, his story to tell, and the rest of us got smashed. Some of us complained about it. Some of us didn't because they were too scared of losing their platform. I'll leave you to guess who's who. But before that happened, all of the people that had helped make the rape of Britain and that possible, and including some of the people that did fuck all, were getting verified on Getter to have channels. And I was part of that. And I had, if you combined all these other channels at the time, this is not a big-headed thing, I'm just saying, if you combined all these channels together at the time, it wouldn't have equaled the size of channels that I had. And yet I was the only one not being given a place on Getter. So if it wasn't for a friend that pulled some strings, I would never have got a thing on Getter. But that's what I found out. Everybody on there that had strings pulled for them. There was no application process. The application process was find someone who you know who could get you in through the corrupt door. And so I got in through the corrupt door. And so, you know, Voice of Wales offered me to be with them. And again, we kept saying we needed to meet up and have a meeting. We never did. And again, look, I wish the Voice of Wales all the best. They've done a great job. They've done a lot of great things. And they've come down and seen me twice. And they were good as gold. I've done interviews with them. Everything. Always got on really well. But on this particular day, I felt that Dan was a fucking pussy. Because of the fact of it was, and Dan, you can come back on this anytime. You're welcome on my show anytime to fight your fucking corner. But the fact of it was, they'd been deplatformed so many fucking times that I think that it beat the shit out of Dan. Dan was like I am as a creator. He used to take all the burden on his shoulders. Got a whole team there, but then he'd go, oh, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I've got to do this. Like, no, you haven't. You've got a team there, but you're choosing to do that. And I'm no better. It's like a control freak thing, but it's also, it's hard to explain. Being a creator, I get it. I'm a bit the same as he was. So I actually understood a lot where he was coming from, believe it or not. A lot of people don't get that. But when I saw the yellow in him, and again, I'm not saying he's like that now. I just think it was for one day. But when I saw the yellow in him was when I said to, like I say, when I knew I was being blocked from getting a place on Getter for political reasons. And I said, hey, whose cock have I got to suck to get fucking verified around here? It was a joke. And Dan got hold of me in private and went, you can't say that, you can't say that. What do you mean I can't say that? On a free speech platform that is designed around free speech and people saying what the fuck they want, you're contacting me in private now to say I cannot say that. Why? He's our friend. Even if that's true, which I do not believe, why does that change anything? I also know I've been blocked from being put on there, so what I've said is legitimate, and it was said in a jokey way so as to give the guy a gentle knock, whilst without actually saying to him, you're a fucking cunt, where's my, you know? So I did it in a way that was a kind of gentle knock, and it was up to the guy that ran Getter how he came back to me. He actually came back and said, fortunately we have a different process, yeah? It was quite funny, the way he handled it, and I gave him props for it. But still, Dan behind the scenes, he was like you know, Laura and Hardy was like, Hardy, what, like just panicking. And again, in the background, me and other people were trying to get a meeting on with him so that people like me that had joined, we all knew where we stood. But we never could because Dan was always too busy, as most OCD creators that are self-important often think, including myself, who've made the same mistake before. So I won't work for people anymore. He sold out his values for somebody thought he pretended was his friend because he was worried about living on a platform because they'd taken everything from those guys time and time and time again. And just for a moment, he lost his bottle and forgot what had got him special, forgot what had got him in the public eye, which was standing up to tyrants that would take away free speech. But they only wanted to stand up against tyrants that took away free speech on the left. And that was why I didn't work for them, because as I said, I think Stan would have stood by his principles, but as far as I was concerned, we're done. And I didn't bother again. I didn't go back again, didn't bother again, I didn't speak again. Now, do they have my support these days? Absolutely. They've done a great job, they've covered a lot of things. They were an absolute boon for Wales, for sure. And I got, like I say, meeting them as friends, they were fucking brilliant. Whether we were in London, whether they came down and meet me, I really enjoyed the company and I miss them. As activists, very good. But Dan lost his bottle over that and never apologised. Had Anne-Marie Waters on my channel for a year after we stopped speaking, and nobody took it off. Nobody said thank you. Nobody said please. And then when they heard me finally complain about it, they just turned it off. No thank you, no please. And again, that wouldn't have been Stan. That would have been nobody said thanks for getting an extra 200 viewers for Anne-Marie Waters every week just by letting you use my channel. Yeah. So there was a lot of things that happened that I was like, yeah, this is not what people do, how people really treat each other. So this is why I'm independent. I don't want all that bullshit. I don't want all that bullshit. I don't want somebody who's on a power trip. I don't want somebody who doesn't understand what got them famous, which was fighting the fucking system, not being a slave to it. And it doesn't matter who that system is or who that status quo is. The moment you say, oh yeah, but we're friends, or see what I'm saying? Oh, we're friends. You've been compromised. Oh, I'm working with Tommy. You've been compromised. I'm doing this. You've been compromised. Even I didn't understand how deep that goes until I was in it. Because you've been compromised, even if it's that you'll self-censor for reasons that you believe to be good. So it really does make a hell of a difference. So again, no bad thoughts to them. That person was just trying to stir up trouble. But the Voice of Wales did a good job as far as I was concerned. And they took it to another level. And I wish them all the luck in the world. I just wish that hadn't happened between us, because just for a moment, Dan lost his bollocks. But overall, I think he's more than made up for it in terms of what he's done for the movement and other people. But to pretend he's not an ambitious person like the rest of them would be a lie, because he is. But if he gets good work done, why should I care? I don't. And they have got some good work done. So, but the person I've got the most time in the world for is Stan. Because Stan's about as honest and stand up as they make them. What you see is what you get. I love Stan. Dan's great as well, but Stan is special because he's just honest. Just honest. No frills, no skills, just honest. And I love it. And I love it. I love people like that. Let me try and catch up with you, and then I need to get off of here. Oh, why is my Wi-Fi turned on? That's going to drain battery like a motherfucker, isn't it? I'm running out of battery, but it is charging a little bit. Is that, do you know what? That wind is really strong, but I've also just realised I'm behind a cover of trees. It's humid as fuck, which I'm not surprised at with the wind, rain and that we've had this year. But also, it is, it feels like, what is it, about 18, 19 degrees. It feels like about 23. Because the humidity is like right up your face. So yeah, it's very, very warm where I am at the moment. I don't know if you caught any of that. It's very, very warm. So yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. But yeah, and that is the same with any creators, you know. I work with creators that are prepared to be honest and prepared to criticize anything and anyone, no matter what. And if you haven't got that in you, then we're not going to work too well together. If you haven't got the guts to say, oh shit, did you see one of my team members steal that old lady's bag? Yeah, I did actually. Can we keep it quiet for my podcast? No. Not unless you go to the police. Then I'll keep it quiet. Your choice. Seriously. Why the fuck should I hide that? And I'll give an example of what I mean. There used to be a guy called Chris Mitchell in the movement. And Active Patriot gets so much shit because of things that other people do. And this is a perfect example of it. I'm going to just talk about Active Patriot and then I'm going to get off, right? Active Patriot, people don't like a lot of his methods or whatever else. Boo-hoo. The fact of it is he's got a lot of things done with fuck all in this movement. And he's done more than anybody else without a team and without that kind of backup, right? I think that's a fair claim. And, what was I going to tell you about the way he was treated? Oh, yeah. So just one example. So the guy called Chris Mitchell, there was this story, this woman, she didn't know, she's an old lady, she took her dog into a graveyard, she didn't know, and these two fucking wardens, like big motherfucker and a woman, came out of nowhere like the fucking thought police, and so they had their hands on her, but told her she had like a, was it a £500 fine? Something like that. or 250. I can't remember. It was like a few hundred quid. I can't remember the exact amount. And Active Patriot was, I think he actually spoke to the woman. He said, don't worry, I'm going to do something about this. So he went away, and he didn't want, because people had made accusations about him, he didn't want to have it in his name. And I remember speaking to him on the phone. He was like, do you want to do it, Tom? I'm like, nah. Like, yes, I do. I'll be part of it. But no, I don't want people accusing me of shit either. So, you know, and at the time we didn't know Chris that well, but Chris seemed to be outraged as well. So we're like, okay, well, this guy is trusted by people. So we were like, okay, you handle this. And, and we'll go from here. Anyway, so they made this woman more than she needed. So I think they ended up making like 1,100 quid or something like that. So it means that she would have been up, I don't know, about 500 to more over on the deal. And Chris's first question to Active was, how much of this are we keeping then? And Active went, none. We're keeping none, Chris. And Chris went and spent 8/10 of that money on drugs and drink that was supposed to be to go for that old lady. So Active had to dip into his own pocket and get what the couple of hundred quid that Chris had left, and put his own money with it, and went and paid that woman anyway. And to cover for certain people, didn't explain the exact amount of money that had been stolen off her by Chris. Because technically she was never owed that money in the first place. But Active did his best job to put his money, his hand in his own pocket, to give that woman exactly what she was fucking promised. Now Chris is gone now. But the point of it being is this is what people do to other people. They are scumbags, but Active has taken so much shit for other people. He got all the flack for that. Everybody blamed him. He was a bigger name. Everybody blamed him. And do you know why they blamed him? Because they didn't look into any of the facts. All the facts were there. The dates, the transactions, the names. Everything was there, transparent. Everybody could have traced it through and seen who the culprit was without any word from any creator. That was years ago. So when I talk to you about being in a post-truth age now, if they could do that much damage to Active all the way back then, and he was trying to help a member of his community, imagine what they could do now. With AI, with just the way that people have taken on the left's traits. Facts don't mean shit no more. My target audience is those people that still believe in facts, still believe in truth. Even if it's opinion that ends up being proved wrong, as long as you can hold your hand up and say you were wrong, no problem, right? That's who we're targeting, and I believe that target audience is actually growing. I believe that the people that want the truth and authenticity are growing, not shrinking. I think the shrinking stage is over. I think people are getting less intoxicated by the dopamine shorts. I think people are less impressed by the short format, high intensity information. And I think people are sick to death of the slop intros, stuff like that. I think people want real. It doesn't mean that every podcast I do is going to be a hit. But it does mean that when the passion's flowing and the honesty's flowing and we hit a stride together, and I've actually got in the studio where I can talk to you guys properly, we're going to have some magic moments. Because they're real. They're organic. They're organic. And organic can lead to shit podcasts, but it can also lead to some of the very, very best in the world. What's up with this guy's voice? What a weird thing to say. Do you know something? I'll say something to you now. That person saying, what's up with this guy's voice? You think that people in the chat are going to go, yeah, what is up with this guy? They're not. Even when you use your other sock account. Here's why. I've seen people like you. See, you look at the size of my channel and you assume that I haven't been here before. You're pissing in the wind. You'll downvote the video and not realise that A, that's good, and B, the 99 upvotes cancel it out anyway, even if it wasn't. What you don't understand is that I've literally had people tell me that they fall asleep to the sound of my voice. Way before I came on YouTube. Not because I was making boring arguments for once as well. I used to do ASMR videos for people. So I already know what my voice is worth. And my voice is actually worth a lot to a lot of people. Sure, it annoys some people. And what most people have told me is, yeah, it took me a few videos to like you, mate. But you grew on me. people say my voice is actually reasonably soothing. That's not my opinion of it, because you can never hear your own voice. That's other people's opinion. And other people think that I have a wide range of expression. So do you really think the opinion of one fucking nameless nobody is going to dent my confidence, when I've literally had thousands, if not millions, of people come and say the exact opposite of what you're saying? You're pissing in the wind. Next. Let's have a look. Let me try and catch up where we go. I am back. What's wrong with my back? Shout out to Gobster. Shout out to Alfie Anglo-Sax, Bad Wolf, Vindicator, obviously. Oh God, and everybody else who I always forget. So I'm only getting a third of the chat, so I'm not getting the... Is that it? Are we stuck chat-wise, or did a certain person lose their balls? Funny how that works, isn't it? But, dude, just barely have a high school level... see, do you notice how they come on in twos? Same guy. Dude, you barely have a high school level IQ. Yeah, right. And... People with people will go to high school. So you've just admitted that you're American, right? And we all know about the education system in America. Literally, all you need in America to get a job is an English accent, because they know if you're English, you're probably going to have about a 10 to 20% IQ point higher score than the average American. So they take English workers on straight away because they know that you are too fucking stupid. So that's without the PhD and the high education. Most Americans will just credit us with that higher IQ even if we haven't got it. But yeah, it's really interesting that you would come onto my channel to talk about IQ rather than go and debate it with someone with an actual high IQ. I've never made a claim to have an high IQ. In fact, what I've made a claim is that my IQ is nothing special, and yet I still have a valid opinion. So how high is your IQ never to notice that, even though it's even written in my description? You've got to be super fucking dumb. And I'll tell you why. It's because you skim over things, you look at a title, you look at a few words and you think, oh, I'm a smart guy. You want to be the smartest guy in the room, either because you're insecure, unhappy marriage, your kids fucking hate you, or maybe you can't have kids. Who gives a shit? Nobody cares about your own personal hell, mate. Nobody cares about your personal hell, and that's why you're here. That's why you're here. Go do something creative yourself. What's the chances if I click on your name I'll find nothing? Nothing of worth. Same old story. Same old story. So, anybody got anything else to say? I think we may actually have a hung chat, because it's happened before and I've never known it go quiet for this long. So, even that pussy wouldn't have pussied out that much. So, it's usually crashing the chat. Probably fucking, I just realised YouTube are playing about again, aren't they? So, let me see if I can just beep, 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 beep. Oh, look, it's come back, look. Yeah, so, see, this is the beautiful thing about having a new channel. See this guy here? Where are you working now, Tommy? As a proper paid work? Right, so this is how you know that this is someone who knows me, but doesn't have the guts to admit who they are. And they're not someone who knows me really, really well, because they don't know a fucking thing about my situation, which is why they're fishing right now for a rage bait answer, because they don't know what they're talking about. So they come on with trying to rage bait me. This person absolutely knows me. So, and the reason I'm just going to leave this in is just to say to you guys, this is what you're up against when you're trying to fight battles on the right, and that is people from the right will come and make unsubstantiated claims about you. They will try and knock you down. They will try and rip you, and they're all on your own side, supposedly. And they all say the same thing to every creator they go to. It's not that they've got individual insults for each creator. The same insults for every creator, hoping that the shit will stick. They just throw shit at something and hope it'll stick. And this dipstick thinks that I am going to sit and part with his shit. So what I would say to you, mate, is I already know who you are. You're standing in a glass house throwing stones. If I was you, I'd be very, very careful, because I'm made to throw a stone back. And unlike you, I know what building you're standing in. You think you know what building I'm standing in, which is why you fail. Now, get the fuck off of my fucking channel. Right? I don't want you on here. You are toxic, you offer nothing, and I don't have to justify getting rid of you. Getting rid of you because you, my friend, are a cunt. And that's all the fucking reason I need. So, backtracking. Yeah, exactly, mate. Exactly. Exactly, mate. Oh no, Ben, see that guy is going to call, that's what I mean. He's going to call you a grifter, even though you literally don't even think you've got a YouTube channel, have you, mate? He's going to call you a grifter because you dare to speak up against, this is what I'm trying to say, mate. It doesn't matter what jobs we've got, right? If you were me, would you advertise where you worked? Whether you're working or not, right? Because they literally phone up your work and get you, like this, like for me to get a job now is fucking hard because I'm far right Tom from RT. Yeah, so do you think we're going to go and advertise when we're working, when we're not, what places we work for, when we're not? No fucking way. And people like that are fishing for a rage bait answer that then allows them to know something about you, so they can either phone the government or they can phone your place of work to try and cost you money, to take money out of your kids' fucking mouths, right? That's what they're doing it for. And the worst of it is, that person is familiar with me to an extent, although nowhere near the extent that they were pretending, because they couldn't actually say anything personal. It was all just very, very ambiguous statements. And again, ambiguous statements because they don't know anything. It's just an attempt to rage bait me into saying something and then me going, oh, I shouldn't have said that. The trouble is, it doesn't work on someone like me. It's because there are no secrets. There's just me. So you can't rage bait me into going, oh no, I shouldn't have said that, when there's nothing I feel like I can't say. I'm just real. And that is I told you again and again and again, and this, you know, I know people find some of these streams hard to get through, but I need you to stick with me on this, because I need you to see what they're doing. I broke 1,000, here they come. I told you when I started getting interest, they would come. I told you this a long time ago, and I said it when I did, because I've been through this before. Until we get to about 3,000, they're going to keep coming. And then when we get to 3,000, those lot will stop, and then a new type of people will start coming for us. And it will never stop. You guys are my shield. I'm my shield. And the things that I set up now are my shield. But basically right now, at the size of the channel we are almost open to the elements. And these fucking people will come along, trying to break your trust in me down, trying to break my trust in you down as well, because they will send me screenshots of things you've said behind my back. You're allowed to say what you want behind my back. But they'll send me screenshots of it, trying to prise us apart. Had it before. And they will come along, and they're probably gatekeepers for bigger channels. They're possibly paid informants, so I don't want to say that because that's everybody's answer to everything. Most likely they belong to a channel you all know, or they belong to a group that you all know, or there's somebody that you all know. And even the way they're making accusations about Tommy, wouldn't surprise me if they came from within inside the team, because that way it looks like someone outside the team attacking. So that's the way that lower down, you know, not very important people might go about attacking me, is by pretending not to be part of the team whilst actually being part of it. This is the sort of things that happen, and I'm not saying it is them, by the way. I'm saying this is how they attack you in this movement. Nobody, you know, they claim the moral high ground, but they can't show the face. They can't make an argument. They won't even. They're careful about what they say, so they don't give away who they are, or the fact that they don't have an argument, because they're trying to get me to give details I don't have, and making fools of themselves doing it. And all I said, you guys, is watch out for them. I told you this would come. They will keep coming. There'll be MSM. There'll be infiltrators. There'll be all kinds of people that will try and keep a tiny little channel like this down. The channels like mine are tiny. I'm not important, but they are watched every day or every video by certain weird types. And it's all in a fishing operation. So they harvest my content. They're fishing to get answers out of me, answers that don't exist. And they will keep trying to keep me down. And I will keep climbing up. And what they don't know is that behind the scenes, I'm fucking watertight. I've done everything I need to do to be absolutely watertight, no matter what situations come my way in the future. So let them make their silly comments. Let them make their silly gestures. They're doing it out of ignorance because they don't know nothing. You know, you don't get to be a computer programmer. You don't get to have then been a fucking employed, what do you call it, video or videographer as they would call it. I call it video editor. You don't get to do all these things in what, a 3-year work life or whatever. It takes years to get these skills and actually be good enough to work for people for them. You know, I work for Sky, not directly for Sky, but for a company called Cooltech, and made programs for Sky, QVC, the BBC, the British Post Office, all demonstration programs, not actually sold, but nevertheless, those are the people that I wrote programs for. I wonder who they wrote programs for, you know? And the only reason I mention the name of the company, Cooltech, is because it doesn't exist anymore. But you're not going to get me mentioning a company that's still running after the shit that I get. Why would I do that? Bollocks, no. Not only that, you've got to understand as well, there's been some companies out there that have been really good to me and given me a chance when I've been really ill and stuff like that. So you imagine repaying a company that's done nothing but good to you by then letting people see that company and going and possibly putting it out of business. Wait. And possibly putting that company out of business. Wait. Not happening on my watch, you know? Wait. Right, and go. So yeah. So I have a feeling, you know, I just realised, trigger point. So match the patterns, let's go back to the trigger point. Yeah, undercover, one of the boys undercover. So I wish they just had the guts to call me out as who they are. Because I tell you what, I'm not a debater, but he ain't a Quaker either. And if you've got a problem about who you are, you've got your channels, you've got your followers, you are the big I ams, you're the tough guys, then fucking make your move. Call me out. Oh, that's right. You don't want to give me that. You don't want to give me that popularity because you know I could do something with it that you never could. So you'll keep shouting from the shadows. Fucking cowards. Anyway, I got to wrap this up because the dog's getting annoyed. The dog's getting annoyed with me now, and I don't blame her. Do. Hey, look, see this right? Oh, right. See, look at this old bum. I'm real. Oh, look, free speech. You like?